Well, good day, good day, good day. Well, good morning. It is late tonight. Very late tonight. My name is Robert Brown. I am the host of the Rob Report, Big Rob Reviews, the Bobby Brown Show. Man, I'm doing too much work. All right, so we got a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about today. Put the first image up right here. Answer the question, you smug elitists. Pelosi dances around questions about a deal to get money to people. Now, I don't expect people to be on tonight. It is extremely late. It's 1:52 a.m. But I don't have that much space on my computer. I'm going to have to go out and buy me an external hard drive. My space is low, so I can't keep too much on this computer. Other than that, it's going to shut down on me. But let's get into it. So Nancy Pelosi goes on CNN and go through a tip and tat with Wolfe Blitzer. Give me a second. 1:52. All right, just want to make sure I'm on everywhere. Seems like my Facebook is not up. Facebook is on. Let me make sure that I got the YouTube on. The YouTube is on. Give me a moment. All right, so the YouTube is on. Okay. All right, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right. So Nancy Pelosi, the woman who is stalling out right now money from getting into your pocket. I talked about the other day how Nancy Pelosi wanted over $2 trillion to fund a whole host of things in the stimulus bill. But she has the my way or the highway approach. I guess she figures she got some leverage here. I'm trying to figure out where you got the leverage at, because I don't think you got the leverage. I think Donald Trump has the leverage. I don't think you do. And what do you mean by that? Well, Donald Trump is running for office, not Nancy Pelosi. Joe Biden is silent on this. The squad is silent on this. Ro Khanna, he spoke against this. Andrew Yang spoke against this. You got a lot of prominent Democrats saying, take the freaking deal, Nancy. Trump gives her almost $2 trillion, but not quite 2.2 trillion. The Republicans say, Trump, you're giving them too much. We got a bill that's in the billions, and that's all they need to get. They don't need to get nothing else because it's about us, it's not them. The Democrats saying, look, we need all the money because we got to win our base. We can't afford to give you a win. Well, you see Nancy Pelosi and her smug self, when Wolfe Blitzer do what most reporters need to do more often. Y'all need to be more like this more often, news reporters. Jake Tapper. That's not his porn name. Wolfe Blitzer. That even sounds like a porn name. Rachel Maddow. You name it. Well, let's get into this and see what this lady. Oh God. Y'all just don't understand how much she really irks my nerves dealing with situations like this, but here we go.
After 30 days, I could not believe my before and after picture. I literally rolled back the hands.
As you know, there are Americans who are being evicted from their homes. They can't pay the rent. Many Americans are waiting in food lines for the first time in their lives. Can you look them in the eye, Madam Speaker, and explain why you don't want to accept the president's latest stimulus offer?
Well, because, thank you very much, Wolfe, and I hope you'll ask the same question of the Republicans about why they don't really want to meet the needs of the American people. But let me say to those people, because all of my colleagues, we represent these people. I have for a
First of all, Nancy, he didn't ask you a question about the Republicans. He's very rarely going to get any Republicans on his show in this season. The only people that will probably come on the show is those who are looking for an extra vote that they're not going to pull from Democrats. Republicans are not pulling Democratic votes. Just like Democrats are not pulling Republican votes, no matter how hard you're trying out to get Republican votes. Well, we got all the generals. We got all these leaders. We got all the presidents. All of them endorse Joe. But that ain't the people. The question was not directed to the Republican, Nancy. The question is directed to you. Wolfe Blitzer asks you a question. I'm telling you, man, these smug elitists.
For 30 years, represented my constituents. I know what their needs are. I listen to them.
Now, she's lying out of her behind. She must got 2 cracks out of her behind. She listens to her people. You know something, I had opportunity to meet with John Lewis and a couple other politicians here in New York. I mean, famous politicians. I kind of questioned them, and a lot of people got mad at me. Bro, you can get mad. I got to ask the hard questions. That's why I don't do interviews. I know y'all said, Rob, you should have interviews. You should have a call-in show. I don't do it, man, because I'm going to say something that, you know, I'm already losing subscribers. And most of it is YouTube fault, but some people get offended because I've been riding hard for my people. And yes, we are a country of all people, but I put my people first because they need to come up a little bit. Well, not a little bit, but a whole lot. And we'll never go anywhere with these lame politicians who act like they are on our side, and they're not. When's the last time Nancy Pelosi went down to San Francisco? I mean, she probably went to that Tenderloin district, but when's the last time she went to Oakland? That's right across the bridge. When's the last time she met with her people? I can guarantee you she very rarely leaves out of her mansion, because she has a mansion. She's like, if not one of the top 10 richest politicians in Washington, D.C., and that's saying a lot because John McCain was part of the Bush beer company. You know, John Kerry was part of the Heinz family. I mean, you got a lot of rich people in Washington, D.C., and she's one of the top 10. So she's going to tell me she went down to the local community center in Oakland to talk to us constituents about this stimulus package. Yeah, get out of here.
And their needs are not addressed in the president's proposal. So when you say to me, why don't you accept theirs? Why don't...
Now, in this proposal, there's, I think, at least $400 of extra money on top of the unemployment. It's not the $600. There's another stimulus check behind that. Those are the 2 main components. There's a little bit of help for COVID. Not enough. Now, Nancy Pelosi, on the other hand, her part of the bill, she's looking to push, revive Obamacare, which is really Romney Care, which is really a Republican plan. So here she is, the centrist, pretty much a wealthy Republican, just only dressed in as a Democrat with a D on her chest. I mean, she's about as red Republican as that jacket she got on. This lady's worth $150 million. And she claimed that she knows what her constituents want. And she knows what they need. They need another stimulus check. They need more money on top of the unemployment. Now, we're talking about majority of Americans. We're not talking about the essential workers, because yes, I agree, there have to be a package for that, but you don't put everybody else on hold for that. Now, let's keep going.
They accept ours. Our legislation is there to do 3 things primarily: to honor our workers, honor our heroes, our healthcare workers, our police and fire first responders, our teachers, our transportation, sanitation, food workers, the people who make our lives work. We couldn't be doing what we're doing without them. Many of them have risked their lives so that to save lives, and now they will lose their jobs because Mitch McConnell says let the states go bankrupt.
Excuse me for
let
interrupting,
the states go bankrupt.
Madam Speaker, but they really need the money right now, and even members of
I
your
understand
own,
that, but
even members of your own caucus. Even members of your own caucus, Madam Speaker, want to accept this deal. $1.8 trillion. Congressman Ro Khanna, for example. But let me just quote Ro Khanna, a man you know well. I assume you admire him. He's a Democrat. And he just said this. He said, people in need can't wait until February. $1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. Make a deal. Put the ball in McConnell court. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're all.
This is not what he asked you, Nancy. You got Ro Khanna, a Democrat, saying people are hurting right now. Let me tell you something. You might not like me, and I really don't care, to tell you the truth. I'm pausing because I don't want to sound like, because I already got people calling me, undercover Trump agent. I don't like none of y'all. I don't like none of these people running for office. None. And if there was some way I could stop both from getting in that office, I would. But unfortunately, one's got to get in office. But guess what? I ain't going to put them in there. You want to go with the lesser two evil crap that got us Trump? Go for it. It's just going to get us the worst of Trump. You want to do this, the lesser of the bigot, the lesser of the white supremacist, the lesser of the rapist, the lesser of the liar. You want to play this game? Fine. You go ahead and play this game. I'm not playing this game. And whether you like it or not, I am not voting for neither one of these turkeys. I am voting, but I'm not going to empower either one of these bigots to be in that office. Joe Biden's not a bigot. Fool, if you don't go look at Joe Biden's bigoted record and don't tell me he ain't no bigot. He's as bigot as they come. He's just a little low-key. Trump is the upfront bigot. I mean, there's a difference between racist, bigot, and white supremacist. You got to learn that. I learned that at the Murphy Institute. White supremacists, they play bad cop, good cop. That's what you see here in the political party. You got one party is the bad cop, and you got one party is the good cop, and both of them trying to put you in jail. That's what you got with these political parties. That's what you got with the two-party system. The one you think is good, still trying to put you in jail. He'll give you some coffee. He might give you a soda, pop it open for you. He might give you a cigarette. The other one will bust you in your mouth and choke you out. Either way, you're going to be in jail. The man asks you a question, and you got politicians in the Senate saying, take the freaking deal, and you still want to cover up for this like they don't know what's in the bill. Like they don't know what they're talking about. Like you are the only one that knows everything, that you miss knowledge almighty, and you know exactly how the bill go. Folks, let me tell you something. I can understand you want to put all these goodies in the bill. But bills can continue to be made. What you need to do is provide some instant relief, because it's been about 6 months. You need some instant relief for the American people. You don't hold them back and strangle them. See, me and my homie D was talking about this today. How do you get people to buy in? Well, it's simple. In business, wherever there's a need, if you can fill the void of that need, you can make big money. See, Nancy Pelosi is helping Trump create a need. She may not understand that, she may not know that, but she's helping Trump create a need. She is siding with Trump in creating the need, a desperation for relief. a desperation for release. The Democrats want to continue to tie Trump down with COVID, which they can, because bad enough a president is supposed to keep a pandemic from coming to his country, but to become a victim himself of the pandemic, that is horrible. But right now, that ain't affecting most Americans. You want to know what is affecting most Americans? Frustration, lack of monies, bills behind, rent behind. If it wasn't for Trump doing the national moratorium, folks would be out on the streets right now because a lot of the states were not trying to push people when it came to their mortgage or when it came to their rent. Not even New York. Governor Cuomo catered more to the homeowners versus the renters. People are in dire needs. She is assisting Trump side by side with him, and she probably don't even know it, in creating desperation. And Trump has came close to what she wanted. The Republicans are pissed off at Trump because he's giving them too much. He's almost meeting them in the middle, and she want to continue to stretch this thing a little bit longer. We're only a few weeks out from the election, and let me tell you something. When Donald Trump get reelected, because it's stuff like that that would get him reelected. I don't want him reelected. Do you need to vote for Joe Biden? No, you need to vote for Joe Biden. I want Joe Biden elected, and I don't want him reelected. Well, you got to do, I ain't got to do a doggone thing. I'm in a blue state. It's easy for me to vote my conscience. But let me tell you something. If I was in the purple state, I still ain't voting for bigotry. I'm still not voting for white supremacy. And when I know a person has a history of it, I'm not putting them in office. You can do it, but you can count me out like New Edition. Let's keep going.
Always an apologist. And many of your colleagues apologists for the Republican position.
So she's going to sit there and call Wolfe Blitzer an apologist for the Republican position. This is not, I guess I'm an apologist for the Republican position. Woman, ooh, I almost called you the BITC. Lady, you are in a position of the elitist, rich aristocrat. See, you got food in your big old 4,000 refrigerator. Matter of fact, you got probably like 30 cartons of $20 ice cream, $50 ice cream. You ain't got to worry about health care. You can get it because you're part of the government. You ain't got to worry about food at all. If you and your husband was to lose your fortune, you're still going to get a check for the rest of your life. You're still going to get health care for the rest of your life. You're still going to get education if you want it for the rest of your life. You can go sit on a board and make 5, 10. You can go out like Hunter Biden and make money. You'll be able to do all that like Eric Cantor and John Boehner and all these numbnuts that made money in politics and continue to make money in politics, living the good life, while regular people, your constituents, are struggling. And you got the nerve to talk about Wolfe Blitzer doing some Republican talking points. Lady, if you don't get out of here, that man asked you a simple question. This ain't got nothing to do with Republican talking points. What you going to say next? He's talking like the Russians? And y'all get on my nerves with this stuff, man.
O'Connor, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do, and nobody's waiting till February. I want this very much now because people need.
So if you want it now, why don't you do it?
Need help now, but it's no use giving them a false thing just because the president wants to put a check with his name on it in the mail that we.
And see, that's the problem. Last time President Trump sent a stimulus check. 2 weeks later, a letter came in from Trump trying to show that he cared for you. Man, I ripped that thing up so fast, man. I'm like, bro, you ain't doing me no favors. This is my money, man. You just giving me my money that I poured into the federal government. Sure, you're not taking a check because you're already rich. As a matter of fact, your sons is making more money because you're the president. And don't let me get on your daughter Ivanka and Jared Kushner and the money they making while in office. She's worried about Trump getting a check. I mean, she's worried about Trump sending the check and that people might appreciate that. She think people are actually going to be dumb enough. Let me tell you something. Trump can give you the checks. If you don't like Trump, that ain't gonna make you go vote for him. And you people who don't like the Democrats, Trump can give them all checks. You're still not gonna vote Democrat. You're still gonna be a MAGA person if you're a MAGA person. A stimulus check and relief and all that stuff ain't gonna change. The people that will change is the non-voter, independents like me, people who are voting for the first time, because they're watching what you're doing, Nancy. They says, the quote goes like this: I'm not watching what you're saying, I'm watching what you're doing. And as of right now, Nancy, the ball is in your court and you ain't doing nothing.
We should not be doing all we can to help people pay the rent, put food on the table, to enhance benefits, that they don't lose their jobs if they're state and local. We're talking about the consequences of a pandemic, the symptoms of a problem that the president refuses to address.
But you know,
and that is the coronavirus.
We know
that is
we
the
know
coronavirus.
the problem out there, but there are millions.
See, now what she wants to do, and this is where Nancy is really nervous. They know they figure, I mean, you know, you're a political shark. You're a political shark. Right now, the Democrats smell blood with this coronavirus issue. Like I said, it's one thing to stop a virus from hitting your country. It's another thing for a virus to ravage your country, kill over 200,000 people. All of them are to blame for it, not just one person, but all of them. All of them got access to the intelligence and all that. So, but for the president to catch it himself, which anybody can catch it. Anybody can get it. That's why I get tired of people telling me who's new with coronavirus. The Rock and his family got coronavirus today. Oh, Jermaine Dupri got coronavirus today. Oh, D.L. Hughley got... Man, I don't give a crap. They ain't no different from me. Stop telling me who famous got coronavirus. I mean, this ain't the 90s when you found out Magic Johnson had AIDS. Now, that blew us away. Stop telling us that. But see, they figure... We got him because, man, we really got him now because he's a victim himself. So now we going to try to strangle him with coronavirus. So she's trying to get the talking points off the stimulus check, which affect me and you, onto coronavirus, which probably haven't affected me or you. And if you had it, you probably didn't know it. Or if you had it, you probably got through it 2 weeks, no problem. Some of you probably got a family member, but not that many people that you know that probably died. I had a few people die that I know. But the bottom line is most Americans are not, the number one priority on their mind right now is how I'm going to pay this rent. Baby need a new pair of shoes. Call them up and tell them what you want. Right now, Nancy Pelosi, that is more important than coronavirus. And you can sit there and talk about coronavirus all you want, but the whole purpose of this bill is because of coronavirus. And right now, these people need to pay bills. I know I do.
Millions of Americans who have lost their jobs. They can't pay the rent. Their kids need the food.
That's right, and that's what we're trying to get done.
$1.8 trillion, and the president just tweeted, stimulus, go big or go home. He wants even more right now, so why not work out a deal with him, and don't let the perfect, as they say here in Washington, be the enemy of the good.
Well, I will not let the wrong be the enemy of the right.
What's wrong with $1.8 trillion?
That's the question I want to know, Nancy. What's wrong? Let's go.
You know what? Do you have any idea what the difference is between the spending that they have in their bill and that we have in our
All right, tell us.
bill? Do you realize that they have come back and said all these things for child tax credits and earned income tax credits, for helping people who have lost their jobs? are eliminated in their bill? Do you realize they pay no respect to the fact that child care is very important for people whose children cannot go to school because they're doing remote learning, and yet they minimize the need for child care, which is the
All right, so let's talk about this right now. She's talking about the money for child care. Let me tell you something. Most of these parents right now saying, man, child, I care about food getting in my children's stomach right now. I'll teach them myself if I have to. Child, I care about this rent being paid. Child, they about to come repossess my car. Child, I ain't got no gas in my car. There's more one kind of child care. Now, don't get me wrong, child care is important, but most of the parents are still homeschooling. The kids are still got their laptop in the living room, going for it. And yes, I believe these parents need to be accommodated with extra money if they're going to take time out to take care of their child. Because somebody got to stay home with these kids. Now, I do believe there should be money for that. But what you could do, Nancy, is do a separate bill and tie it to the president and the Congress. The House can pass it. This is what I said about Bernie Sanders and this, Violence Against Women Act. So you're going to tell me Joe Biden them fill up their bill up with all this pork, including the Violence Against Women Act, to get you to sign on a heinous crime bill that disproportionately target black people? You're going to use that as an excuse when you could have took that out? You could have just said, no, I can't sign this. But I do like that Violence Against Women Act. I'm going to take this bill up separately. There's no excuse for you signing that bill. None. Yet we hear about Breonna Taylor. We hear about Sandra Bland and all the black women and the black people that I guess identify as women and all that has been murdered. Did they get any of that money? She's worrying about child care when right now the parent is saying, child, I care more. Because I could take these kids to school, but when I get home and we ain't got no roof over our head. Let me keep going.
Threshold with which people, mothers and fathers, can go to work if they have that. Do you have any idea of how
that's precisely why, Madam Speaker,
short they're concerned?
That's why it's so important right now. Yesterday I spoke to Andrew Yang, who says the same thing. It's not everything you want,
but you know what?
There's a lot there.
Honest to God, you really, I can't get over it, because Andrew Yang, he's lovely.
When she say Andrew Yang is lovely, Ro Khanna is lovely, she's really saying they can go to hell. Andrew Yang can go to hell and kiss my behind. Ro Khanna can go to hell and kiss my behind. I'm not going to say that because he's a fellow Democratic, but both of those guys can kiss the crack of my wrinkled up behind. And I'm telling you, that behind probably wrinkled as two dried up prunes put together.
Ro Khanna, he's lovely. They are not negotiating this situation. They have no idea of the particulars. They have no idea of what the language is.
How do you know, Nancy? How do you know? You don't think they got people that they contact, that they friends with, that's in the House, Nancy? You don't think they talk? Ro Khanna is part of the Progressive Caucus. You don't think they don't talk? And where the heck? And where the hell is AOC on this? What? I can't go against Mama Bear. That's Mama Bear. Whatever she says, I says. I know. Where's Ayanna Pressley? Where's Rashida Tlaib? Where's Ilhan Omar? Where are these people? Why are they not calling Nancy out? They're so freaking scared. When she said that she's powerful, She meant that. She's powerful. She's powerful to these people because she has the ability to give them what they want. In other words, she's making the squad, her bitches. Oh, my little bitches ain't gonna say nothing. Ain't that right, bitches? I'm not gonna say nothing. But Ro Khanna them, oh, they're lovely.
Here, I didn't come over here to have you. So you're the apologist for the Obama, excuse me, God forbid.
Madam Speaker.
You hear this? So you're the apologist. So she's trying to turn this around. And see, this is what I hate about people out here right now. Because I don't kiss Joe Biden's behind, because I don't make Joe Biden look beautiful and pretty, because I run my mouth. I had somebody say your rhetoric is going to cause Trump to win. No, if Trump win, it's because it ain't my rhetoric. It's because your lazy politicians got a record that they won't apologize for. Some of them downright double down on their freaking record, think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And number two, they don't want to offer nothing for the people. You see certain things that the people need in majority, you can give it to them, but you refuse to give it to them because you got to kiss the behind of your donors. It ain't me who's causing them to lose. It's them causing them to lose. It is not the voter's job to get you in office. It is your job to get the voter on your side to get you in office. That's your job. And if I don't kiss your behind, if I don't ride with the Democrats, if I don't get on the bus, as one of my friends say, Rob, there's room for you on the bus. I'm like, bruh, I'm trying to blow up your bus. Your bus need to be blown up. Yep, you can call me a political terrorist. In my mind's eyesight, I'm trying to blow up the Democratic bus. Now, that's not literal, YouTube. That's figuratively speaking. The two-party system need to be blown to smithereens. We need ranked choice voting. I mean, you can keep them, but one thing need to be done is ranked choice voting need to be national. The ability to register to vote should be national. Having the day off to vote should be national. And we need more parties. And she's doing the same thing. She's shaming Wolfe Blitzer for asking her hard questions that make her feel bad. Which, if you don't get out my face with that mess, I'm sorry, guys.
I'm not an apologist. I'm asking you serious questions because so many people are in desperate need right now. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
When was the last time?
Let me respond to you.
Let me ask you, when was the last time, Madam Speaker, when was the last time you spoke with the president about this?
I don't speak to the president. Speak
Why
to
not?
his representative.
Why not call him and say, Mr. President, let's work out a deal. It's not going to be everything you want.
Now, you know something? Ronald Reagan, Republican icon. It's one thing Ronald Reagan had. Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill had a relationship. I don't know if it's the white supremacy that they had together, because they had a little level of white supremacy. Bar wasn't on a high level. But, the same thing with Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Justice Scalia. And I know y'all hate for me to say this, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg spit on black issues. Now, if it's an all people issue, she's for it. But soon as black people start to step up and try to make a gain, Ruth Ginsburg want to criticize it. Case in point, Colin Kaepernick. But you got Ruth Ginsburg, the liberal judge, and you got Anthony Scalia, the conservative judge, best relationship in the world because they found the common ground. Nancy Pelosi, because Trump beat Hillary Clinton, she hates him. She just thought she was going to have this one-on-one, loving, blossoming relationship with Hillary Clinton as her as president and her as Speaker of the House, and they thought they were going to have this Reagan-Tip O'Neill type of relationship. She don't want to have nothing to do with Trump up front. Now, she might do some things behind closed doors, maybe on a phone call that's classified that we don't get to hear. But up front, she cannot appear to be. She got to show herself to be a true resistance. And that is not what Tip O'Neill did. That ain't what, You know, even Barack Obama had some kind of relationship with John Boehner, especially in his first term. Some kind. Even though on the surface he looked like he hated Barack Obama, but behind closed doors they had some kind of relationship going on. Hey, because look here, I've told you, if me running for office 10 years ago, I will be considered a Republican.
Not going to be everything I want, but there are so many Americans right now who are in desperate need. Let's make a deal.
What makes me amused, if it weren't so sad, is how you all think that you know more about the suffering of the American people.
You all. Anybody see a truck? You see a truck in the background? You see an orange and white truck with U-Haul on it? Did she just U-Haul Wolf Blitzer? Remind me of that Tropic Thunder movie when he said, "You people." What do you mean, you people? You all. Like news reporters, they are more on the ground with the people than you are, Nancy Pelosi. Now, don't get me wrong. A bunch of them are rich elitists, too. Will Blitzer popping up doing a cameo on Mission Impossible. They rich, too. But majority of the people in journalism are on the ground with the people way more than you. Way more than your colleague.
Than those of us who are elected by them to represent them at that table. It is unfortunate that we do not have shared values with this White House and that they have in their bill, why don't you talk about in their bill, a tax break for the wealthiest families in the country while they cut out the earned income tax credit for the poorest families in our country and the poorest children in our country. That we have to fight with them to get them to address the coronavirus.
I'm sorry I keep talking. Right now, Nancy, we worry about that after the election. We got a few more weeks right now. Earned income tax credit? That is not your job. That is the job of the big boys. If you run for president, you push that in your platform, earn income tax credit. Right now, people not earning nothing. Who earning? Most Americans are out of work. What are you talking about, earn income tax credit? We need that in the bill. Yes, but not right now.
Crisis, because they have said it was a hoax, it was magical, it was a miracle, it was going to cure it. It hasn't, and that's why we find ourselves in this situation. I feel very confident about the knowledge that I bring to this, but more importantly, the knowledge that our chairs of jurisdiction, science-based, academically documented, institutionally suggested in terms of what the cost would be to do it and to do it that way. And about, we talk about child care, yes. We talk about safety in the workplace. Safety in the workplace, that's a very important issue, especially in the time of the pandemic. So what I say to those people is, we're going to get a deal. And when we do, it will be retroactive. It will be retroactive.
Here's what you wrote in a letter to House Democrats, Madam.
We're going to get a deal, but it's going to be a retroactive. The problem is, when are you planning on getting this deal, Nancy? After the election? You really believe, see, this is what she's doing. She'll rather wait to deal after the election, hoping Joe Biden wins. And right now, they're so cocky and so arrogant, they really believe Joe Biden got this in the bag. They're doing the same thing they did with Hillary Clinton. Hoping that, well, if we don't get it done before the election, we'll get it done after the election, and then we're going to give you what you want retroactively speaking. But before we do that, we need you to go out there and vote for Joe Biden. We need you to go out there and keep the House, gain more seats in the House, gain a majority, where we can stop a filibuster. At the same time, take over that Senate. We're going to do this. See, this is the game that she's playing with people's lives. She don't want a deal right now. She'll rather you starve. She'll rather you risk getting evicted, even though we got a moratorium, but you're going to have some of these renters that's going to tell you to kiss my moratorium behind. I want you out. And they'll rather go to blah, blah, blah. The whole point is She'll rather not do a deal to after the election, trusting and believing with high confidence that Joe Biden is going to be the president and that they're going to take the House and Senate. Why? Because they believe that people hate Trump so bad that they're going to overwhelmingly beat him in all the states. You got to remember, this is not a game of popularity. This is a game of chess. He who wins the most states will win the election. And they figure since Joe Biden is polling in some of the Rust Belt better than Trump, you got this in the bag. You ain't got jack in the bag. My mama say, when you think you winning, you better fight like you losing. You better secure that vote. You better find out what the American public want, what the American public need, and give it to them now. Because you wait till after the election and Trump win, because of you, we all are doomed.
Madam Speaker, and I ask these questions only, as you know, so many millions of Americans are suffering
But you
right
quote
now.
two people who know nothing about the agreement.
Well,
or not, there is no agreement, but what the suggestions are, as if there's some authority on the subject. Please give equal weight to to all of the chairmen on the committee who have written this bill.
But so many of your fellow Democrats in the House, they want a deal right now.
No, that isn't.
The problem solvers, they all want a deal right now.
Yeah.
And here's what they're complaining about, because you wrote a letter to House Democrats and you said this. Let me read a line from the letter you wrote. The president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up. Is that what this is all about? Not allow the president to take credit?
Now, this is where the lie get real juicy and good, because that's what it's all about. The American public don't give a crap whether the president send them a freaking letter saying, look, I gave y'all some money. It was me, me, me. I don't give a crap about that, man. It's not your money, Trump. You didn't get it out of your pocket. You didn't pull it out of the crack of your behind. You pull it out of the government purse, which we put in every day. Heck, you don't even put into it. And because of Nancy fighting to change the tax laws, making it easy for you to do that, I'm quite sure she's skating some of these laws too, and her husband. And all she's worrying about is the president sending a letter. But let's go. Whoop Lissa got a point.
Debate of the 2020 election. For the first time.
All right, here we go with all these freaking commercials. Where is this coming from? Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. I'm going to have to fast forward this thing.
Evicted from their homes, they can't pay their
Short, they're concerned.
That's why it's so important right now. Yesterday I spoke to Andrew Yang.
They have said it was a hoax, it was magical, it was a miracle. So what I say to those people is, we're going to get a deal. And when we do, it will be retroactive. It will be retroactive.
Here's what you wrote in a letter to House Democrats, Madam Speaker. And I ask these questions only, as you know, so many millions of Americans are suffering right now.
But you quote two people who know nothing about the agreement.
Well,
or not, there is no agreement, but what the suggestions are, as if there's some authority on the subject. Please give equal weight to to all of the chairmen on the committee who have written this bill.
But so many of your fellow Democrats in the House, they want a deal right now.
No, that isn't.
The problem solvers, they all want a deal right now.
Yeah.
And here's what they're complaining about, because you wrote a letter to House Democrats and you said this. Let me read a line from the letter you wrote. The president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up. Is that what this is all about? Not allow the president to take credit if there's a deal that will help millions of Americans right now?
He's not that important. But let me say this, with all due respect, and you know we've known each other a long time, you really don't know what you're talking about.
Now, how can you sit there and say, with all due respect, you really don't know what you're talking about? This lady, man. This smug, elitist, rich, asshole. Yeah, I said it. She's an asshole. A big gaping asshole. You could put a truck through that bad boy. Her face is one. Her eyes are one. Because to say something like that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of these newscasters. I'm not a fan of Wolfe Blitzer. But Wolfe Blitzer, I got to call it down the line. When they right, they're right. When they're wrong, they're wrong. Wolfe Blitzer asking you hard questions. You don't like it. And you're going to sit there and going to say you don't know what you're talking about. He know what he's talking about. He's not asking you a whole bunch of stuff. He's just saying, look, the people need help while you're stalling this out. The president is almost meeting you where you want to be. Of course, you don't expect him to meet you 100% of the way. She thinks she got leverage, and she's going to pull this thing all the way to Joe Biden, hoping Joe Biden become the president so they can give it to us retroactively, which I don't believe that crap either. This lady is something else, man. She cocky and arrogant, and you got these punks on in the House and Senate like AOC and all them don't want to do nothing, don't want to challenge her. She don't pay your check. The American people elected you. I'm in your district, Bronx. The people of Bronx, the people of Queens elected you, AOC, not Nancy Pelosi. So shame on you not saying nothing. And I got a good mind, too bad, I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I got a good mind to go to your local office and tell y'all about y'allself. Little punks hiding up in the corner. Look like that Homer Simpson meme hiding in the bushes. But you're going to get on the bully pulpit and talk about the justice, the lady who's running for nomination of justice. You're going to try to shame her, but you're too afraid to say something to her, and we over here struggling. Like my boy Marco say, we got to eat too. We New Yorkers, we got to eat. Shout out to my boy Marco Pons.
If the plural of anecdote is not data, yes, there's some people who said this or that. Overwhelmingly, my caucus wants what is right for the American people. Overwhelmingly, our chairman who wrote the bill, read their statements. They all put out their own statements when they saw what the White House was proposing. So do a service to the issue and have some level of respect for the people who have worked on these issues, written the bill to begin with. Now, let me just say this in terms of the numbers. I want people to do the math. We had 3.4, which would meet the needs of the American people for a sustained period of time, so that there was some certainty in what would happen. The Republicans said no, well, so we took it down $1 trillion by cutting the time. We took it down another $200 billion. So we're now $1.200 billion down. We came down to 2.2. At the same time, since tomorrow will be 5 months since we passed the bill, at the same time, hold on,
I got to stop right there. 5 months since they passed the bill. 5 months. You know, most people have spent that money by then. And unemployment is been cut off since August. 5 freaking months.
Because there was no resolution. Mitch McConnell said, let's pause. The virus didn't pause, and now we're at a place where we need more money. We need more money for PPP, for our small businesses. We need more money for our airlines. We need more money for our schools. Let
me stop right there. All right, so she said we need more money for small business, but yeah, she's trying to push in the bill, a tax on small businesses or a tax on businesses making a certain amount of money. Right now is not the time to tax businesses. Yeah, I know that sounds like a Republican tax. Right now is not the time to tax businesses during a crisis. When the crisis is over, tax them up the behind. Way up there. Right now ain't the time for taxes. Right now ain't the time to be talking about Obamacare. Right now ain't the time. And what else she said?
Let's pause. The virus didn't pause, and now we're at a place where we need more money. We need more money for PPP, for our small businesses. We need more money for our airlines.
That's the part. Now, guys, you got to understand, I am a union organizer, and I've been stationed at JFK Airport, and I've been trying to get to LaGuardia. My job is I rally around workers to understand their needs on the job and to fight for them. Right now, these airlines, before COVID, these airlines were in record profit. We didn't require them to spend their money that they're sitting on top of before we give them more money. We gave them more money while they're sitting on profit. These people are not broke. They don't need the money. They want to sit on their money and take the people's money and give it to them. They don't want to pay their workers the money that they profit on. They want the government to take the taxpayers' money and give it to them. We don't need your airline. We can ask the government for that ourselves. Same thing with the insurance industry. One of the reasons why they cut our $2,000 a month potential UBI is because the insurance companies came in there claiming that they need money. So they're more worried about taking care of airline companies that are in record profits, taking care of insurance companies that are record profits, the money that our money, the taxpayer money, they're giving to those guys. Screw the airline industry. They got money. Screw the insurance industry. We need to get rid of those medical insurance industry anyway. She's trying to fight for money for them more than she fight for money for us.
More money for our schools. So we have absorbed nearly $500 billion more of expenses still within the 2.2.
I understand all of that, and I have only the greatest respect for you.
So do the math.
Madam Speaker, I have only the greatest respect for you.
I don't, Wolfe. I don't have no respect for her. I don't like her. I love her with the love of God, but I don't like her. I don't like that lady. I don't like her. I don't like Trump. I don't like Trump cabinet. I don't like half of the Democrats. I don't like most of these mugs. I don't like. And I don't have no respect for them. I don't. These people playing with innocent people's lives. People who put them in office and paying their check, they're playing with their lives. He'll be kissing her behind. I love you. I love you, Nancy. I love you, Madam Speaker. Shut up.
$1.8 trillion. $1.8 trillion is a lot of money. The American people need that money ASAP because they're suffering right now. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying...
And you don't care how it's spent.
I care, of course, how it's spent. But what I don't understand is why not talk to the president personally, call him up and say, Mr. President, let's get a deal tomorrow.
Look, let me say this. The president...
The man asked you a simple question. She can't... The fact that he called her out on that and said, what you should do is take time out and talk to the president and work it out. She don't want to do that. I'm telling you, she hate that man guts. She can sit there and say, I don't hate anybody. I pray for the president. You can't do that and still do what you're doing. I mean, I always tell you can criticize the policies. You can criticize, but I'm not. I'm not doing that. People want me to hate Trump. I'm not going to hate Trump. I don't hate Trump. I don't hate Biden. I hate the things that they've done, and I can literally hate them, but it's not going to help me. You people who got Trump derangement syndrome, it's making you unhealthy. Boy, I got a feeling that if Trump get reelected, y'all going to halfway kill yourself. Already said at the beginning in 2016, if he win, I'm moving to Canada. I'm moving to Europe. None of y'all Negroes ain't moved nowhere. Stop. You're still in the same place. You're making a big deal of nothing. Well, we going to go back to slavery. That's what we said about George Bush. If you think you're going to go back to slavery, you better start stocking up on some guns like the rest of the people do. And make sure you don't go. Because I keep telling you, white supremacy is not party. They're not partisan. They run the gamut. They want to own it all. They run both parties.
It has sent Mr. Mnuchin to negotiate. That's what we've done with other presidents. This isn't unusual. With President Bush, we did this quite a bit because that's how you negotiate. And then you take it to the president. Mr. Mnuchin, I think he has integrity representing his position. May I finish, please?
Mr. Mnuchin has integrity. Did y'all hear that, people? First of all, I just checked on the chat. I'm surprised y'all up here, man. Y'all go to bed. I just need to put this out because I can't put this on my computer because my computer hard drive is low. Got to get a new drive, so I had to stream this live. So, y'all go to bed, please. Some of y'all got to go to work. I appreciate you, Karen. Oh, y'all, you know, propaganda. Man, guys, I love you, but y'all need to get some sleep, man. Yeah, you hear what she said? This lady is something else, man.
Mr. Mnuchin, I think he has integrity.
You hear that? Mr. Mnuchin have integrity. Mr. Mnuchin doing what the president told him to do. That scumbag ain't got no integrity. He's scum too.
Representing his position. May I finish?
President wants a deal, and Steve Mnuchin ain't got no choice but to do what the president told him to do.
Please, but he has integrity representing his position, but his position has no integrity. They do not share our values. Have a little respect for the fact that we know something about these subjects. And
they don't share our value. Have a little respect. Forget your respect. Boy, I'm God. Woo! Ah, God, hallelujah. God, hallelujah, Lord. I couldn't be. That's why it's, guys, that's why I don't have people to interview, man. I can't do it. Man, I lose my job messing around with this lady because I call her a stupid elitist son of a elitist SOB.
There's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans and whether they want to give a big tax cut to the wealthiest people in the country.
See, she wants to have a stark difference between the Democratic and Republicans. She want to have that huge dividing line so the world can see Democrats good, Republicans bad. That is what she's trying to do in this whole situation. Donald Trump is doing the same thing. Most of the Republicans are not. They are part of the anybody but Trump, and the Democrats are against me, and I got some Republicans against me. They're part of that anybody but Trump crew, and that's who we're running against. And you got to get them out of office. That ain't helping none of us. It ain't helping none of us.
In their bill, in the CARES Act, we tried to take it out in this bill. Instead, they took out earned income tax credit, child tax credit, expanded health benefits to UI benefits to the extent that it was agreed to before.
Right.
So this is, I have every confidence in what and the arguments that we make because it's based on science and documentation.
So earned income tax credit and child's income tax credit is based on science? What the heck is she talking about? We already got built into the tax system earned income credit and child tax credit. She wants to up the money right now in order to get the deal. I'm saying take that off right now. I'm not worried about that. Tax season is coming, but I probably won't even get no income tax this year. And you worried about an earned income and all that kind of stuff? Hey, what about the people who haven't earned anything? So this is what's stalling the bill? You want to do whatever you can to have a stark difference between the Republicans, Democrats. Their bill is horrible. Our bills are for you, and we're not going to settle. We'll rather wait till you go out and vote us in, and Joe Biden getting in office, and we'll pass a bill because we'll have the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and we'll dominate, and we'll give you what you need, and we'll give it to you retroactively. Really? Really? I mean, California got legal weed, but I think you got some weed with a little more than, a couple of buds in it, girl.
Our chairs know their stuff. They know what they're doing, with all due respect to the kind of people you were referencing. And I welcome their enthusiasm. I welcome their interest. I welcome their originality of their thinking. But the fact is, we
But-
have a responsibility to meet the needs of the American people in a retroactive way, so they're not at a total loss. They are at a loss because the president has ignored the virus. I wish he would spend time on the fact that if he had not ignored the virus, we wouldn't be in the position we're in, but we are. And let me say about that also, I hope that I'm pleased that these pharmaceutical companies are taking the responsible position to halt and hopefully then resume, because we want the public to have confidence in whatever therapies or whatever vaccines come along, that they will take them.
Right.
And to people who say, well, I don't trust Trump on that, if we trust the Food and Drug Administration for what they are doing, the scientists there who've been working 24/7 for months and months and months, excellent science. The science should call the shot, and when they do, we should all trust it.
And let's hope they get more treatments. Let's hope they get a vaccine. And Madam Speaker,
Yes.
I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now
Well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go
it
into that.
doesn't- yeah,
You
we've gone
evidently
through
do
that.
not respect the chairman of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all
I
of
wish
you.
you would respect the knowledge.
So she gonna tell him he disrespected him? Oh man, she need to.
Knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again, he's been on a jag defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our two bills. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in person.
Now let me give you an opportunity to say there's nothing he said. I don't see nothing he said where he's defending them. He just asked you a simple question. Miss Lady, why you're not dealing? You got your colleagues saying, take the deal. You're asking too much in your deal too. You talking about they don't have enough in, you're asking too much. Child credit, income tax credits, let's worry about that after the election. Let's don't wait to stall this freaking thing out to after the election hoping that Joe Biden win. Because you're putting in a position that if Trump beat Joe Biden, we're stuck. Because he definitely ain't going to do no deal then because he got what he want, a re-election. And you're helping him with this foolishness, lady.
Madam Speaker, these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining
we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolfe, and I hate to say that to you. But
Now she got to get the last word in.
I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
It's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
And
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them,
who
and we
are
represent them.
getting
You ain't represent Jack. You got voted in, and you haven't been representing the American people since back in the days of Harvey Milk. You ain't representing Jack. Now Harvey Milk, he represent the people. You ain't represent Jack. See, when you represent people, when you truly represent people, people risk taking your life. Because the people love you and they adore you. Man, ain't nobody really loving you out here in these streets, lady. They got a false idea of who you are, and when they start looking really deep into who you are, they'll find out you're one of the smuggest, elitist bastards in Capitol Hill. And you don't give a crap about nobody but your positions. Then you got AOC and all them calling Mama Bear and all that kind of stuff. Get out of here.
And we represent
these
them.
long food
And we
lines that we're
represent
seeing.
them.
I know
We
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just saying.
Oh, no who? No who? Have you been to the homeless encampments in San Francisco? Do you know those people's names? Have you been to the community center? Do you know the kids in the after-school program? Do you know the remaining gang members in those areas? Did you know that they're unifying? Did you know they're coming together to do some real work? They're trying to work. They're trying to go back to their original purpose, and that's becoming a political juggernaut. Do you know that? Have you visited any of the prisoners in San Francisco that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris teamed up together to lock in disproportionate numbers to lock up? Have you visited that? Have you visited them? Shut up, man. I know it's rude to say shut up, but shut up.
We represent them and we know them.
As we
We
say,
know them. We represent them.
She's going to talk over him. Man, woman, you on his show. Shut up.
let the perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say here.
She don't understand that once she go, he can keep talking.
Nowhere near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically, critically important.
You know, she looked like a bumbling idiot on that TV. She looked like a bully, a bumbling idiot. She looked just like Trump. Don't want nobody to get a word in edgewise. The same thing Trump did in that doggone debate with Joe Biden, she did it with Wolfe Blitzer. And y'all people think these people are really different. Oh, they're stark difference. And she's trying to paint the picture that there's a stark difference. Girl, you can paint the picture till the cows come home. There's no stark difference between you and Trump. You, Nancy Pelosi. You, Chuck Schumer. Y'all all part of the same gang. Y'all worse than you see. I love the Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik got caught with cocaine with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and they were supposed to be in a brutal, heated battle, and supposed to be going to the arena to battle each other. Them fools was riding around in the car and dope in the car, and they end up getting arrested, blaming each other for the dope. That's the Democrat. Most of the Democrats and Republicans. They lost sight of you, and all they're talking about is posturing. We're not gonna let Trump get no checks out. We're gonna stall this thing out and give it to him retroactively, because we can't afford to have him give y'all money, because it's gonna make you good. It might steal a couple of votes from us. Get out of here with that stuff. I'm telling you now, guys. If you are not on Team Trump, ain't nothing gonna get you on Team Trump. Well, the checks may get you on Team Trump. I don't know. Won't get me on Team Trump. And I'm not on Team Joe, so you can give me all the checks you want. I'm still against any bigot being in the White House. I'm still against red MAGA, and I'm against blue MAGA. Because both of them are really no NAGRA. You know, they're against us black people. Both parties against black people, but my black people think, oh, they care about us. They're going to give us loans. And, oh, no, I don't want no loan. You owe us money. No loan. No loan. Education, all that, we definitely deserve it free. No cost. You know, made it so much money off far behind. No loans. But anyway, I'm going to end this. Nancy Pelosi. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. I mean, Paul Ryan wasn't even that freaking arrogant and cocky. Paul Ryan and Ryan Suck Up wasn't this smug and elitist. Heck, John Boehner wasn't even this smug and elitist. Nancy really made herself look like an idiot on here. Just like Trump made himself looking like an idiot. And Biden made himself look like an idiot following that idiot trail that Trump laid before him, when he could have just took the high road and just looked at him like he was crazy, instead of going back and forth telling him to shut up, be quiet. Which is something I probably would have did too, but anyway. Guys, look, my suggestion, because she is the Speaker in the House, call your friends, family, and light up their phone. Light up their Twitter. Light up the count. They're going to call you Russian bot. They're going to call you Trumpettes when we know you're not. You have a right to call her. You got a right to email her. You have a right to blow up their Twitter and call them out. Shame them. You can put that GIF, shame, shame, shame up there. Because they'll rather have you suffer to make Trump look bad versus making the deal, fearing it's going to make Trump look good but really going to make you look good. I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. I got another one I'm going to do in a moment. I'm not asking you guys to be on here. Go to bed. I just want to get these out real quick. I'll holler at you later. Peace.